It is not the cold that kills first. It is the silence. Across a frozen plain that stretches farther than the eye can measure, nothing moves. No green, no shelter. No sound but wind scraping over ice that has not melted in 100,000 years. And yet, somewhere in the middle of this frozen nowhere, something is waiting. A single egg, balanced on the feet of a creature who has not eaten in months. It should not be possible. Nothing should be able to survive here, let alone raise a family here. But the strangest part of this story is not that life exists in this place. It is that life chooses this place. On purpose every single year. What happens next will test everything a body can endure. Hunger, cold beyond imagining, and a darkness that lasts for weeks at a time. But it will also produce one of the most tender acts of devotion found anywhere on Earth. The real story begins not with a birth, but with a walk. A long, difficult walk, taken by thousands of animals moving in the same direction, toward a place where no predator can follow, and no food can be found. They are emperor penguins, and this is Antarctica, standing over a meter tall, with a sleek black back, a golden wash of color at the throat, and a belly the color of fresh snow. The emperor penguin looks almost formal, dressed it seems for an occasion. In many ways it is. By day, when the sun still lingers on the horizon, colonies of these birds move across the ice in loose, waddling processions. Up close, their eyes are dark and watchful, their feathers dense and oiled, layered so tightly that not even the harshest wind can reach the skin beneath. They are built for water. Beneath the ice, they are transformed. Fast, agile, astonishingly graceful, diving hundreds of meters in search of fish and squid, holding their breath for minutes at a time. In the sea, the emperor penguin is master of its world. But on land, everything is different. On land, they are slow, vulnerable, exposed, and yet, every year they leave the water behind. As autumn deepens across the southern continent, the penguins begin a march unlike any other in the animal kingdom. Away from the coast, away from food, inland across ice that groans and cracks beneath their feet, toward a place where the sea cannot reach and where, for a few frozen months, they will build not a nest, but a family. But everything changes once they arrive. There are no branches here, no mud, no leaves, no soft grass to weave into a home. In this world, the only material available is ice itself. So the colony simply stops. Thousands of birds, standing together on an open sheet of frozen white, forming a gathering that will become their only shelter for the months ahead. Then, one by one, a transformation begins. Each female lays a single egg, pale, smooth, and disproportionately large for her body. There is no time to rest. Within hours, in a moment that will decide the fate of the entire season, she transfers the egg to her mate's feet. It is a delicate handoff. If the egg touches the ice even for a few seconds, the cold can end a life before it has even begun. Both parents move with an urgency that looks almost like panic, because it is not far from it. Once the egg is safely settled onto the male's feet, tucked beneath a loose fold of warm skin called a brood pouch, the female begins her own journey. Back across the ice, back toward the distant sea, to feed and recover from the enormous cost of producing that single egg. She will be gone for months, and the male will not follow her. What happens next is one of the most extraordinary endurance tests in nature. For roughly 2 months, through the darkest, coldest part of the Antarctic winter, the male emperor penguin will not eat. He will not walk far. He will not lie down. He will stand almost motionless, balancing the egg on his feet, sheltering it beneath his body, while temperatures fall far below freezing, and winds howl across the ice at speeds that could knock a person off their feet. He is not alone. Around him, thousands of other males do the same, and together they form one of nature's most remarkable defenses against the cold, the huddle. Shoulder to shoulder, body against body, the penguins arrange themselves into a dense shifting mass, rotating slowly so that no single bird is left facing the wind for too long. From above, the huddle looks almost like a single living organism, breathing, pulsing, adjusting inside it. The temperature can be dozens of degrees warmer than the exposed ice beyond. It is teamwork born of necessity, because outside the huddle alone, a penguin's chances of surviving the winter fall dramatically. But this was only the beginning. Weeks pass. The sun disappears entirely and total darkness settles over the continent. The males lose a significant portion of their body weight, drawing on fat reserves built up before the long walk began. Still they wait. Still they hold the egg. Then, deep within the shell, something begins to happen. A faint tapping sound. A tiny crack, barely visible, spreading slowly across the surface of the egg. Inside, a fragile life is pushing toward the light, though there is no light yet to push toward. Only warmth and darkness and the steady heartbeat of the parent standing guard above. It can take more than a day for a chick to fully break free of its shell. The process is slow, exhausting, and precarious, but eventually a small gray head emerges, damp and trembling, blinking against a world of ice it has never seen. The chick weighs barely more than a few hundred grams. It cannot regulate its own body temperature yet. Without constant warmth, it would not survive more than a few minutes exposed to the Antarctic air. So its father does what he has done for 2 months already. He shelters it, feeds it a substance produced in his own esophagus, a last reserve, drawn from a body that has almost nothing left to give. And then, almost as if summoned by instinct, something else begins to happen across the colony. Females start returning. After months away, guided by memory, sound, and an uncanny ability to locate their own mate among thousands of near-identical birds, the females make their way back from the distant sea, bellies full, ready to take over. The reunions are chaotic, loud and unmistakably emotional. Calls ring out across the ice, each one slightly different, a vocal signature unique to every individual. Somehow, in the noise and movement of a colony numbering in the thousands, a mother finds her mate. And her mate, impossibly thin now, exhausted beyond measure, carefully transfers their chick into her care. Only then, for the first time in over 100 days, does the father finally leave. He turns toward the sea, beginning the long walk back, driven by a hunger that has been building since before the egg was even laid. But the chick's journey is only just starting. Outside the shelter of a parent's body, the world is enormous and dangerous and constantly shifting. Under the mother's care, the chick grows quickly, fed regularly now that food is more available. Its first covering of soft gray down thickens. Its legs grow stronger. Slowly, cautiously, it begins to take its first wobbling steps away from the safety of its parents' feet. It is not alone in this. All around, other chicks are doing the same, and soon, the colony's youngest members begin to gather together in loose, huddled groups of their own, known as creche. Here chicks lean against one another for warmth and protection, while their parents take turns making the long journey back to the sea to hunt. It is a dangerous time. predatory seabirds circle overhead, watching for any chick that strays too far from the group. The cold remains a constant threat, and still, months of growth lie ahead before the chicks are ready for the water that gave their parents life. But the greatest challenge had not yet arrived. As the Antarctic summer approaches, the ice beneath the colony begins to change. What was once a solid, frozen platform starts to weaken, cracking in places, drifting slowly toward the open ocean.
As the seasons shift, the warming light reveals the fragility of this ancient landscape.